Welcome back to another episode. And I just got done checking out Godzilla vs. King Kong on HBO Max. And I gotta say, first impression, guys, it looks beautiful. It's a fantastic looking movie visually. The sound is very good in the film. I mean, it runs like Dolby Atmos on HBO Max. Like I said, and visually, amazing. They look fantastic. Godzilla, Kong, Mecha Godzilla. There are no spoilers, guys. Everybody pretty much knows at this point that Mecha Godzilla makes an appearance in this film. Now, as far as the story goes, or as far as actually all the films in the MonsterVerse, so to speak, between Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of Monsters, and now this film, Skull Island. I'm a Kong fanboy. I like King Kong a lot. So Skull Island, to me, is still the better film out of all of them. But this one definitely, is right up there. Would I say it's better than King of Monsters? They're basically on par with one another, in my opinion. This one probably a little bit better just because, again, King Kong is involved in this film. Now you have multiple stories going on, basically, with this film. You have characters from the previous film, King of Monsters, coming back. Millie Bobby Brown is back. She's like the main actress in the film. Her story is basically leading. I don't really want to do too many spoilers, guys. So, if we go into a little bit of spoiler territory, just be warned right now. Her story basically is following the path of what's happening with Godzilla. Why is Godzilla, who, pretty much at the end of the last film has become like a friend to everyone, basically not so much a friend, but leaving everybody alone, at peace, just being at peace with humanity. All of a sudden now he is attacking, and he is wreaking havoc, destroying everything in his path. Why is that? Well, of course, we're going to find that out later on down the line in the film. Now, like I said, her story, along with the young gentleman from Deadpool 2, I can't think of his name right now, guys, but Millie Bobby Brown, along with him, and this a blogger, basically, that they befriend, who works for this company, they go on the path of finding out what is going on with Godzilla. Why is Godzilla now attacking, going after everybody? Or going after this one particular, what is this one particular company? What has made Godzilla now attack? Now you have on the other hand, you have this scientist, works at a college, and he is approached by a gentleman who owns a company in Hong Kong. Now this gentleman wants to harness his power from the hollow earth, they call it. Basically, it's almost like an inverted earth, like it's like upside. There's mountains that are up in the sky, like everything is just like upside down, basically. But he wants to harness his power. Now, as far as what this scientist is being told, it's for the good of humanity, to protect everybody from Godzilla. So this gentleman who owns his company, he basically has a ship that can go into the hollow earth, because if you don't, basically you'll just be crushed because of just how intense it is trying to get into this area of the planet. So he's able to talk the scientists into going into that, telling me, I have a vehicle that can get you in there safely. You will not be killed. Because you find out early on that this gentleman, the scientist, his brother actually tried to do the same exact thing, and he died. Basically just got crushed trying to go in, from the pressure of trying to go into the hollow earth. Now, that path, that story, basically now, this is Kong's story. Because the scientist is a friend of a lady, along with, she also has a young girl that she takes care of, who have befriended Kong. They've moved him from Skull Island to basically a habitat that resembles Skull Island. And because of that, they are able to, their path is all about Kong. So you have, one direction, but of course they're going to converge at some point. Now, once we get that first time when these two battle, in the trailers you see it, Kong laid out, pretty much all strapped down to an aircraft carrier. They want to make sure that he doesn't try to take off or destroy anything. The young girl in the film, she speaks to Kong, you find out, through sign language. She's deaf, so she just does sign language with this, this lady who takes care of her. But unbeknownst to everybody, she is all, Kong is learning this, so she can actually kind of communicate with Kong. So Kong basically, this little girl tells Kong, like, you need to save us from Godzilla, because Godzilla is now attacking. Again, in the trailers, you see it, right in the ocean, big battle between Kong and Godzilla. Now, of course, there's another big battle that happens later on down the film. Now, once this fight happens, this is like a 2-hour film, too, and it moves by pretty quickly. I would say that most of the time the film is spent, a lot of it is spent on Kong. To me, I think really there's a lot of action involving him. Not so much, there's still a lot of Godzilla, but definitely not as much as Kong. Kong is definitely he's the protagonist. He is the main guy the main monster in this film. And, once this battle happens in the ocean, they're able to make it to the Antarctic. By going to the Antarctic, there is a path that they can send Kong through where he can get down to this hollow earth and lead them, on this path to get that, to find out. Because there's supposed to be other titans like Kong, like Godzilla, that possibly live in this hollow earth. So they just basically want to get Kong home, because Godzilla knows, he can sense. If Kong is around, he can sense, because there's only be one alpha, only be one titan that survives. So, of course, Godzilla wants to go after Kong and take out Kong so that he could be the last one standing. And it's just, there's that whole, can we get Kong back to where where we feel that he belongs? But there's more to that, because it's not just Kong. It's not really Kong that's setting Godzilla off. And again, stop it now, guys, if you don't want to get any spoilers. Because now we're going to go into a little bit of spoiler territory, with the film. Basically, this gentleman who owns this industry known as Apex is basically creating Mecha Godzilla. They have taken one of the heads from King Ghidorah, and they have a pilot. It's almost like, you've seen Pacific Rim, where the pilot can interface, with the mech, sort of like that. But so it's by taking the brain, basically one of the brains of King Ghidorah, they're able to bring this mech to life. But the mech just finds it getting a mind of its own. And that leads us to a huge battle, in Hong Kong. Towards the end of the film, our final, big battle. That leads us and this scene looks absolutely beautiful. The neon colors coming off of the buildings of Hong Kong, just really, really amazing how this looks visually. It looks beautiful. It really, really does. You can see the neon lights and the colors just popping off of the monsters and everything. It looks really, really cool. But our final battle, brings us to, we get Kong versus Godzilla. They're going at it, back and forth. Kong takes round 1. Godzilla takes round 2. They're just beating the crap out of each other. And just when you think, one of them is going to have the upper hand, and if that's it, Mechagodzilla shows up, and now you have a 3-way battle going on between Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, and King Kong. And it's an all-out brawl between the 3 of them. There is no building left standing in Hong Kong. I'm not going to say who wins, guys. That I'm not going to say. I will not say that. But, overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say this is a solid entry into the MonsterVerse. Obviously, this might be the last film, within that monster universe. So, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this... I'd probably give this an 8. I'd give this a solid 8. If anything, I think what pops it up to that 8 are definitely the visuals. The sound, the soundtrack on this film is good. Everything it flows really, really well with this film. I would definitely say an 8. That with the visuals and the sound definitely pops it up there. The acting is fine. Unlike there's still that that human element that we saw within King of Monsters, but definitely I think it's a little bit more toned down. maybe not a lot, but it is toned down slightly, just a little bit less with this. And it's all about Kong is the star. King Kong is the absolute star of this film. Don't let it fool you that it's Godzilla versus King Kong. Kong is the star of this film. And yeah, with that, guys, I say, again, just another reason to have HBO Max. I said it before in other videos, talking about like the Snyder Cut. $15 a month, guys. You can't beat it. And in a few weeks, we have that fantastic, hopefully I've got my fingers crossed, but that new Mortal Kombat film that is coming out just looks absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. So $15 a month, you can't beat it. It's you're at home and you're watching this stuff, and why not? It's like, the theaters are brought to you. You can't beat it for that price. You really can't. And again, 30 days to stream this. I started yesterday. 30 days from yesterday, you have the stream to get a chance to finish, to watch Godzilla versus King Kong. So definitely do that, guys. Definitely do that. It's definitely worth, HBO Max is definitely worth the value. You get a lot for your money. You really do. You get a really nice selection, a variety of different genres. But definitely check out Godzilla versus King Kong. I give it like a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely worth checking out. Again, a solid entry into the MonsterVerse. But before I go, guys, I do have one more thing that I did get in the mail. And I was thinking about making a separate video, but, I already talked about this, back in December when this came out on HBO Max. But from Amazon yesterday, I did receive my copy of Wonder Woman 84 on 4K. Now, I just want to show real quick, guys. Won't stay too long with it. But beautiful slip. Really, really nice. The case, same exact cover. I couldn't decide. I almost went with the Steelbook, but I decided, you know what? Do I really want to go with the Steelbook on this one? It wasn't the best of the DC films. Not bad, but not the best of the films. There's the back. And on the inside, we have our 4K Ultra HD disc and our Blu-ray disc. And the reason why I wanted to mention this one real fast, because I didn't really want to do spoilers when this came out originally on HBO Max. But now that, a lot of people, a lot of people have seen it at this point. So again, because I've already kind of done spoilers in this video as it is, guys, I do want to mention two things, a couple things actually. One, first off, this is not as good as the original Wonder Woman film, the first Wonder Woman film. It's not. I'm not going to try to, I'm not going to beat around the bush and say that it is, because it's absolutely not. It's not. Is it a terrible film like some critics say? No, it's not a terrible film. It's a good film. It's good. I love seeing Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I think she's fantastic. She's, like I said before, she's a Wonder Woman for now. She's perfect. But is it as good as the first film? No, it's not. Now, my two biggest gripes with this film, and again, these will be a little bit of spoilers, so just, be forewarned. My biggest thing, one of the biggest things, first off, is how they brought Chris Pine back in this film. I don't think going the way of, if you understand what I'm trying to say, he's brought back in Quantum Leap style. If you get my drift, you understand. Him basically reappearing in the body of someone else, a la Quantum Leap. I don't think that was the right choice. I know I get it. It's the 80s. Quantum Leap was on in the 80s. You want to do something similar to that style. I just don't think it was the right choice for the film. It doesn't make the film unbearable to watch. It's just not the choice that I would have made. I would have made him just, she had a wish. Again, granting wishes. Her wish was for Steve Trevor to come back. That's what I would have went with. Just having him just reappear. No need for him to be, come back in somebody else's body. I don't think that was the direction that they should have went with that in the film. Now, another thing I do, Pedro Pascal, he's fine. He is fine in this film. I'm not going to say that he's not. But I think his arc, his story in this film should have been wrapped up with a good 45 minutes left in the film. The film runs at 2.5 hours. I think 45 minutes left in the film, wrap his story up. And at that point, give me more of Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, like CGI'd Cheetah. Give me more of that. There was not enough of her in the film. If you had given me the last 45 minutes of this film just being, Wonder Woman versus Cheetah, all-out battle between the two, because Cheetah looked fantastic. Like I said, just did not get enough of her in this film. To me, I think those would have been two fixes between that and, how they brought back Steve Trevor. I think the film would have shot up a lot, score-wise for a lot of people in the film, with this movie. But, again, not a terrible film. There's just things that could have been tweaked to make them a little bit better. But it's a solid DC film, but it's not the follow-up that I would have liked to have seen to the first Wonder Woman film. Still not bad. Absolutely not bad. I've heard some people say it's a dumpster fire. Come on, that's being a little too harsh. It's not a dumpster fire. Not by any means. It sounds really nice. It looks really nice. There's just certain things that should have been tweaked with the story that I think that they should take a little more time to really think, is that the direction we really want to go? But overall, guys, it's definitely worth a watch. It's if you're coming off just watching, Justice League, yeah, you might be a little jaded by this because it's just not going to be as good as that. There's not going to be a lot of superhero films that are as good as that film. But definitely still worth checking out. And it should be popping up probably on HBO Max within a few months, coming back on HBO Max. You can check it out then if you really want to. But, if you're a collector, if you want to have, the DC films, then definitely go out and pick up Wonder Woman 84. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Just remember and go into it knowing that it's just not going to be as good as the original film. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe, and comment if you get the chance, and I will catch you guys in another video. Take care.